Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Five Bears, One Wicked Problem podcast. Today is a short Q&A. First of all, today we only have 4 bears. Our friend Jackson ended up having to leave us on an emergency, but we will not let this stop us in any way, and we will carry on. Today's Q&A is from anonymous people who had emailed questions to our website, asking us questions about the podcast and other things. So we will get right to it. One of the questions I wanted to ask, first of all, someone asked, why did we choose each other as a group? So I'm gonna pass the microphone to the rest of the fellas.
Well, realistically, I just kind of got picked up by these guys, so I'm just here. I'm just having a good time. That's all I got to say about why I'm here.
And you're who?
I'm Lysander for the audience.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I just got good vibes from these guys, so we just formed a group. I feel like we're like-minded individuals.
As like-minded as we can get.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about you?
Yeah, and Lappy kind of didn't even pick him for us.
He did.
So-
We kind of did get thrown into this group together, but
Yeah.
that's all right.
Hey,
we made do,
sometimes-
and we got to know each other pretty
Sometimes
well.
chef's pick is the best pick, you know?
That's true.
Somebody asked, what do you think could be done about the drug problem in this country?
Personally, I think illegal all make drugs all illegal, but just not have Narcan stocked at all. I mean, you can do them, but no one's coming to help you if you do, and if you get caught.
What about, like, all the other drugs?
This isn't a debate.
This isn't a debate. This is
a Q&A,
random
so we're
question.
just going to answer them
My
and keep it
bad.
quick. Don't worry.
I mean, we're not debating about this. I don't know who that question was for.
It's not for
But I
anybody.
picked it up.
It's for the
It's
group.
for the group, yeah.
It's for the group.
So we
Okay,
can-
so another question is, what would you suggest doing about the polarization in this country?
I don't know. Honestly,
You can't really do anything.
honestly, socialize with people more. Just get to know each other a bit more.
I mean, as
That's
we did
true,
as we
right?
did in the podcast, I mean, we all have different views, but we just
Yeah.
chat. We got to know each other
Simple.
beforehand.
Like even though like Liam and I stand very differently on the political spectrum, if he ever wants to do like a board game or play fucking Warhammer, I'm down.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't give a shit.
Hell yeah.
It's just how it is.
Yeah, I think people need to be more like that, like understand that your views doesn't necessarily mean you can't socialize with someone.
Yeah. And honestly, just go outside, have some fun. Like genuinely.
Yeah.
Go outside, have some fun, lift weights, eat well, and kick the shit with a couple of homies or make a couple of homies. You know, that's kind of
Yes, sir.
how it goes.
Alright, and then another question was, how do you think we can make communities more connected?
Don't talk about politics.
That honestly, yeah, in my neighborhood back home, it's a very diverse community. It's a middle class neighborhood, but it's not like we're far away from people. It's not like suburbia, so there's a lot of different people there. We have, the woodsy conservatives, and then just the, I don't know. We got Democrats and Republicans. People have argued in the neighborhood,
And-
but usually we just hang out and nobody talks politics.
And honestly, there's a lot of varying factors that can help go into that. Like, I know a big one for a lot of communities is that the entire community goes to mass. That's a big one. Some communities, they just get together and have cook-offs. It really is just socialization and just going out there. Really just have fun.
A neighborhood barbecue is always
No,
always a great
Everyone
idea.
loves a neighborhood barbecue, except
Absolutely.
an Australian vegan who the neighbors had an even bigger barbecue and blew the fumes towards her
Oh,
house.
I know what you're
but
talking about. Huh?
Other than that,
I actually had a question targeted towards you, Lysander.
yeah. I've been
It's
excited.
nothing bad. Somebody just asked where your views come from, and I think they kind of meant like what do you think in your life kind of like shaped the way that you view politics and the world?
Honestly, I've not had an easy life growing up, you know, considering that I've had some really not nice things happen to me back in my childhood, and I've also, like, I've always been, like, an outcast, but I don't really care about that anymore. I feel like my views more just come from just me just taking a step back and just looking at everything and just coming to my own conclusions. I don't really watch the news. I don't really watch TV. I don't really interact with social media at all, so I've just kind of been on an island on my own, and I'm just kind of like, oh, this is what people tell me, and then I go and I form my own opinion, or if I'm curious enough, I just go do my own homework and come to a conclusion myself. And also, a large part of my views do come from my faith as well, because I am Christian. So, because for me, in my view, faith and politics are tied. You don't have to agree with it, but that's how I look at everything, and it makes the most sense for me. So that's what I roll with, and I will stick with it till I change.
Very interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't think there's any more questions. I think
Alright.
that was it. Okay.
Let's get into the purpose of the podcast then. This podcast and this project was to help us develop the habits of mind. Now, what are the habits of mind? The habits of mind are purposeful communication, problem solving, integrated perspective, and self-regulated learning. Each of these things are basically problem solving and discipline skills that you can use in your day-to-day life, and that Plymouth State University tries to educate its students on. I'll give a brief rundown on what each of the four categories are. So purposeful communication is basically your persuasion skills. It's the way you speak. Do you speak effectively? Do you speak clearly? And most importantly, do you know how to get your message across in a professional way? Problem solving is very self-explanatory. It's your ability to solve problems, and, like, you know, from tiny problems to scheduling and what have you. It really just is about your decision making and your identifying your challenges and stuff like that. Integrated perspective is an interesting one. It's basically, can you put yourself in someone else's shoes? Can you be empathetic? For example, I know where Liam's views come from. He knows where my views come from a little bit better now. So we can kind of see why we came to our conclusions.
Yeah.
And that ability to kind of just empathize with other people is kind of what it's all about. Because it really is just, I get what you're feeling. Self-regulated learning, basically, it's just, are you good with your time management? Do you take up responsibility for your actions? And are you aware of where your pitfalls and weaknesses are? And that's kind of about it. So let's just real quickly discuss how it helped us practice and or developed habits of mind. Now, basically, this, in my opinion, is just restructured discipline. And I've had a lot of practice of it throughout my life, from going from karate to working at factories. So I'd like to say I'm pretty good on all of these. I guess this project really helped me just practice them all. Just practice. It's not bad to practice, but it is what it is. Anyone else want to take this up?
I don't know. I think in little ways I was able to find myself actually, like, practicing these. I mean, no matter what you say and whether you acknowledge it or not, I mean, everyone is practicing these at all times in every different class.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, here it's worded out and it's pictured, and it is like reformed discipline. I do think that some of these things have helped me. I think this class, especially this project, has actually taught me a lot about group work and about having to communicate with people and, you know, use time effectively, and especially with the political polarization, actually work with people. Because in high school, I know that my ass would be getting into yelling fights with people who have different views than me. Lysander, Lysander, I'd probably scream at you. But
I'd have a good time.
But, you know, here I'm mature, and this class has taught me that, like, you got to do that. You have to talk to people just in a respectful way, and listen. You have to listen.
Yeah, like what you guys were saying, like, for me, like, with the whole, like telling your opinions, but also being able to, like, take them in from other people and to be able to break off into, like, smaller groups, it's a lot easier to do that because, like, in a big classroom, you're only going to get one or two people, like, really sharing and stuff. it's hard to like share what you're
Yeah.
saying and like really take in what other people are saying.
Yeah.
But if you break into smaller groups, which is what we did all year,
Uh-huh.
it was a lot.
All
easier.
semester, you mean?
All semester, yeah.
The smaller groups really did help, and
That-
staying
yeah,
with the
exactly.
same people helped.
Yeah,
It would have been
switching, yeah.
nice. Well, I mean, that is why we did have the class discussions.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to be fair, you and I just were the first in to speak about anything at all. So
a lot
Yeah,
of the
so-
times, yeah.
I would just say problem solving, definitely. I developed that one quite a lot. Like we had to figure out how to collaborate as a group and how to do things and get things done. And integrated perspective. This project definitely helped me develop that also. Just self-awareness of your own perspective and figuring out where other people are coming from. So,
That's awesome. Perfect.
yeah.
I
think-
think we've covered everything we want to talk about with this
All right.
today. So
Sweet.
Well,
Yeah.
everybody, that has been for today, 4 Bears and One Wicked Problem podcast, Q&A, and Habits of Mind descriptor. We hope you've enjoyed the podcast today, and we can't wait for you to listen to the next one. Peace.
Well,
Bye, everybody.